The Jews run Hollywood. I'm not saying that's not happening. I'm just saying I noticed. Sure, absolutely. Whatever you say, the Jews are running Hollywood. Fantastic. Running. Not all of them, though. Just some of them. Not some of them, a few of them. Just a few of them, because there's something about the entertainment business that clearly Jews either find themselves attracted to or are good at culturally. You know, like playing basketball. No, we can't have this conversation. How deep do you want to go? The sport of basketball is run by black Americans. Okay. Now what? Well, can I now apply the same conversations that people apply to Jews in Hollywood to how the black-dominated league treats other people? No? Yeah. Can someone get back to me on a ruling? It's also very confusing. I can share with you different industries that have a propensity for certain numbers of people. The idea that somehow there's a cabal keeping you from speaking is so laughable as to be believed. The only cabal we have found thus far keeping people from speaking is the political left trying to keep the political right from sharing a conversation. The political left trying to keep the Dave Chappelles of the world and the Joe Rogans of the world from having a conversation. You know, anybody who speaks out against the accepted narrative. And since so many people I can point to want to tell you how much Jews suck, I guess that's something that's still allowed. By the way, I think it's a weird thing to talk about. I think it's a weird thing to believe. I think if you're somebody who's like, Jews control the media, I think you're a weird dude. You're like one of these people like Jews control the weather. If Jews controlled the weather, right? If I controlled the weather, don't you think Indiana wouldn't be so cold? Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. When I had made my first attempt into syndication, nationwide syndication, and lost out to a couple of guys, if I controlled the media, do you really think I would have lost? Oh, Tony, you understand what they're saying. No, I don't. But that's for them to explain. Just like when I see the political left get angry that Ilhan Omar and Eric Swalwell and Adam Schiff are going to lose their committee assignments when the Republicans take over, well, it's for them to explain why they took committee assignments away from other people. In all three cases, it seems not only rational, but important to take away their committee assignments. Ilhan Omar, her bigotry is well known. For what reason should Ilhan Omar be on foreign relations? Somebody with that level of bigotry can't actually do the job. They cannot engage properly because they're not engaged in what's best for America. They're engaged ideologically via their own bigotry. So she is not going to be on the committee. Or at least on Foreign Affairs Committee. I wouldn't put her on any committee. How does she respond? From the moment I was elected, the Republican Party has made it their mission to use fear, xenophobia, Islamophobia, and racism to target me on the House floor and through millions of dollars of campaign ads. What a fool. Ilhan Omar, the representative, has made herself a target based on her anti-Semitism. She's a bigot. Eric Swalwell made himself a target because he had a relationship with a Chinese spy by the name of Fang Fang. As Kevin McCarthy, the House Minority Leader, possibly the new Speaker of the House, has said, one thing I said from the very beginning, Eric Swalwell cannot get a security clearance in the public sector. Why would we ever give him a security clearance and the secrets to America? So I will not allow him to be on the House Intelligence Committee. That's correct. That is 100% correct and accurate. Ilhan Omar can scream about Islamophobia and being targeted all she wants. There is nobody whiter than Eric Swalwell. Oh, hey, Adam Schiff. Sorry, I was just talking about guys who were outrageously white, and then you walked in the room, and I got blinded. It was so bright, like you're translucent. My goodness gracious, Adam Schiff every day lied about Trump, lied about the Russia investigation, lied about information that he had about the Russia investigation, and Adam Schiff is going to lose his clearance. Lose his committee. Right. Correct. This has to happen. As a matter of fact, just to take it a few steps forward, if it doesn't happen, you can count me out from any support. These things have to happen. You can argue, Tony, it's just retribution. You know what I'm going to say? The difference is cause, because what the Republicans have is actual cause. What the Democrats had was actual hate. I mean, that's it. That's as clear as it gets. There's nothing more. There's nothing less. But if the political left wants to be upset about it, okay. But just remember, you started it. And when you say to me, oh, that's just beneath us to be playing in this tit for tat. Whoa. You have to learn your lessons. Because you won't learn a lesson. What you do is anything you want, and then when the right does something, you say, how dare you? And you get all puffy. Harumph. You know what I mean? You think that you're allowed to scream and yell about the thing. When you do it, it's totally fine. No questions asked. But when the political right does it, then, of course, it's the worst thing in the world. And it has to stop. It has to end. How dare you? You're not serious about the country. You don't care about anything. It is just so completely and totally embarrassing. I said it's completely and totally embarrassing. It's embarrassing. There it is. For some reason, it didn't play the first time. It's very, very awkward. Now you know. Now you know what happens. What happens here is that you don't live in this world where nothing can happen to you. Bad things can happen to you and your people when you screw around pretending to be righteous. You are not righteous. You are not good and decent. Now you know. Now, as for some of these other commentaries out there, as I started, I'm not going to pretend that what Kyrie Irving or Kanye West said was worthy or worthwhile or is anything except just nonsensical ridiculousness. In the case of Kanye, DEFCON 3 on the Jews and everything else. I mean, it is what it is. He wasn't making a point. He wasn't trying to say something. And sometimes, if you say something in such an embarrassing way, maybe we shouldn't defend it. He's allowed back on Twitter. What does he tweet out? Shalom. All right. It's funny to you. Scumbag. It's funny to you. What do you want me to say? Oh, you can't say that about a genius? Ha! It's all I got. If only I was as smart as Kanye, I could come up with a good song about it. No, this is all I got. That and just ignoring the guy. Kyrie Irving is back in the NBA. I'll get into that. And the Black Hebrew Israelites showed up. They're the real Jews. Marching around, where do the Nets play? What's the name of that center there where the New York Nets play? Barclays Center. Thank you so much there, Ryan. Honestly, marching around and chanting, they look like the white guys from Charlottesville. All they're missing is tiki torches. Too soon? Guys, I have only just begun. Jews control media. Trust me, if I controlled things, wouldn't they be different? Liberals control media. That much, I think we can all agree on. We have seen an outrageous amount of bigotry over the past couple of years. And certainly this weekend with that shooting that we saw at the gay nightclub in Colorado, and I'll get to that story. But the removing of Omar is the right thing to do. And her screaming Islamophobia is just sizzling garbage. Pay her no mind. She doesn't get a committee. Bigots don't get committees. Those who hang out with Chinese spies don't get committees. Those who lie to America about Russia's involvement with a former president don't get committees. And people who want to scream that the Jews control the media, they don't get any respect from me. And if somebody else doesn't like it, all right, don't listen. Whatever. Just whatever. I'm glad I'm seeing Kevin McCarthy do this. But if he doesn't do it, there will be no forgiveness in this guy's heart. I'm Tony Katz.
Hopes are high for IU Hoops with one more run for Trace Jackson Davis and Race Thompson and Xavier Johnson and promising newcomers like CJ Gunn and Jalen Hood-Schifino. And IU basketball lives here. Little Rock comes to Bloomington to take on the Hoosiers. Wednesday, pregame at 5:30, tip-off at 6:30. On your home for IU basketball, 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel here for Window Nation. Get ready to have a blast of winter. Yeah, that next brutal blast of wicked, wild, and windy weather is on its way, and the only thing going down is the temperature. Heating costs will soar as much as 28% from last year, but you could cut your energy bills by up to 30%, increase your home's value, and get amazing savings. Call Window Nation today. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free with no interest payments until 2025.
Your new windows will lock out the cold, blocking even the smallest draft, and keep your energy bills lower despite their ever-rising costs. With 0% interest until 2025, you'll have plenty of extra cash for your holiday spending. Make your home truly warm, comfortable, and inviting. Call Window Nation today, 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com. Get 2 windows free with every 2 that you buy, 0% interest until 2025. 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com. Discover why over 250,000 homeowners say Window Nation is the perfect fit.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
If you want to win at any game or competition, whether it's in sports, your career, your finances, you have to have a solid game plan. Retirement works the exact same way. If you want a winning retirement strategy, you need a great coach, a manager, an expert.
And that's where Brian Singer and the Singer Financial Group come in. The Singer Financial Group puts together the pieces of a comprehensive retirement plan to make sure that your retirement years are the best years of your life every day you wake up winning. Singer Financial can help you make the next chapter of your life whatever you want it to be. Go to singerfinancialgroup.com or call 317-852-9153 to schedule a discovery visit. 317-852-9153. Find out how the Singer Financial Group can help you pursue the sweet life in retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Not only is it open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also a time you can join Medishare and save even more than usual. It's true for the typical family, switching to Medishare saves about $500 a month, which is obviously huge for a lot of people. But what's more, they like it. Medishare has double the customer satisfaction rate when compared to health insurance. Double. There are 400,000 members now. They've shared over $4 billion in medical bills. So yeah, they can handle your bills too. And here's the thing. If you join Medishare Complete right now, before November 30th, they will waive your new member fee. So you're going to save even more. Medishare is the gold standard in healthcare sharing, and joining right now makes a lot of sense. Again, pay no new member fees if you join now and start enjoying great savings and a great way to handle your health care. Call now, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This club shooting in Colorado still doesn't have answers yet. Tony Katz today. The shooter, there is somebody in custody. There's a story about him. The generalized feel is you're talking about a gay nightclub in Colorado Springs that was attacked. 5 people were killed. Is it 18? I think the last count was 18 people that were injured. And this club had to have been picked because it was indeed a gay club. This guy, the shooter, has a story involving threatening his own mother in 2021. Police showed up and there was a threat that he had a homemade bomb. Now, there was no bomb recovered, but when they did finally subdue him, he was charged with felony menacing and some other things, but nothing else happened. Los Angeles Times, I haven't had a chance to go through the full story about how this guy escaped the red flag laws of Colorado. Possibly. Not knowing what those red flag laws are, it's something we're going to have to read into. So I am left right now with only the basic data. This happened Saturday night. 5 people are dead who did absolutely nothing wrong. They didn't deserve to die. Certainly one can argue, well, he chose this club because it's a gay club. You can argue it, but we don't yet have the data on that. I'm not saying it won't happen that way. Like there won't be something that comes out from this guy. We've seen where people have engaged targets before that wasn't because of anything, it was proximity. But sometimes they're engaging targets because they are. And nothing should take away from absolutely how horrific this is. But it's one of those, it's a continuing conversation of when we know somebody has an issue, what are we supposed to do? Somebody just tweeted me, check the shooter's grandfather. The story is that the grandfather of this guy, and I've only read one report about this, but the source I thought was a legitimate source. He's a state lawmaker in California who compared January 6th to Lexington and Concord. The shot heard around the world, start of the revolution, made that comparison. Now, that's what's being reported. I have not read it yet in terms of him actually saying it and the family connections and what have you. And let's say that happened. Doesn't necessarily explain what happened here. It doesn't. Doesn't necessarily explain what happens here. And it's not that it's like, hey, the grandfather made him do this. What are you talking about? Did Bernie Sanders make the guy shoot up the baseball field and almost kill Steve Scalise? If there weren't Capitol Police there, he would have killed 15 some odd Republicans, maybe more. Let's not get ahead of the story. Let's recognize what we know so far. And this story is awful in every way. And people have the absolute right to be concerned, right to be worried. There are charges that are starting to come out against this guy. There's a question of whether they're going to charge him with hate crimes. Look, how I feel about hate crimes legislation. I don't believe there's any such thing. Murder is murder. It's not more of a murder because someone is gay or someone is straight or someone's Christian or someone's Jewish or Muslim, etc. Now, I will also say that there'll be people screaming. You see, this is because Republicans, they've been pushing gay hate and calling people groomers and saying you can't have drag events for children. There are groomers and you can't have drag events for children. Has nothing to do with why somebody would shoot up this club and how these people didn't deserve any part of this. Confusing issues doesn't make you smart. It makes you a fool pushing ideology on the backs of dead people. Count me out of that. I'm Tony Katz.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Don't let the forecast fool you. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 12:30. You'll still want to bundle up, even though it will warm up.
Those sub-zero wind chills you dealt with over the weekend won't be a problem this week.
We're going to see a warming trend for much of this week and also a lot of dry weather as the week progresses.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says the only day where there's a chance of precipitation is Thanksgiving Day. High temperatures will also be around 50 across the state, but lows will still drop into the 30s at times. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You may have another choice for mayor of Indianapolis. Pastor James Jackson of the Fervent Prayer Church tells Indy Politics he's running because he wants to transform Indianapolis into the best city in America. Jackson is running as a Republican, with State Rep Robin Shackelford running as a Democrat. Incumbent Mayor Joe Hogsett is going for his third and final term. I'm Donnie Burgess, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
PXG is now open in Indy, baby. Introducing PXG's newest retail store, PXG Indianapolis. Get fitted for hot new PXG golf clubs and our brand new state-of-the-art fitting bays. And shop PXG's off-the-hook apparel, hats, bags, all sorts of stuff. So come by our beautiful new PXG Indianapolis store, 6091 East 82nd Street. We'll be waiting for you. PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Christmas can sometimes be difficult to manage. It brings back memories. Some are great and some are painful. I lost my dad 11 years ago, and every Christmas I think of him. And if I got to talk to him today, this is what I think he would say. Hi, sweetie. I loved calling you that when I was with you. I've seen you pull up that voice message I left you all those years ago when I called you that. I love knowing that it blessed you too, and I miss being able to sit and talk with you. I wish I could tell you how proud I am of you.
We don't often talk about grief during the Christmas season, and yet Christmas can bring up memories that evoke pain and heartache because of the loss of a loved one. Hi, this is Pastor Micah Beckwith, and our Blue Christmas experience at Life Church is designed to give you a space to remember, to ponder, and to feel. Come to one of our Blue Christmas experiences and find a new freedom and joy during the holidays. Go to lcbluechristmas.com for times and locations.
So I have a mouse. No big deal.
Actually, mice contaminate food and spread disease.
Bed bugs? In my suitcase? No.
our hotel was spotless.
Actually, bedbugs like any place there's people and cause itchy red welts.
So I saw a cockroach. Okay, 3. It's no emergency.
Actually, cockroaches can trigger asthma and spread disease. Household pests are a health threat. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association and the CDC.
First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. 1, okay, cool guy. 2, 3 times. Next, I put it in reverse. Meep, meep, meep. Then I take it up and down, up and down. And that, kiddos, is called the forklift.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now that's dancing. Sure beats flossing.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
A stroke can be easy to detect. A loved one can't speak. Perhaps they can't move. But there's another sign of a stroke that many of us can't see. It's called spatial neglect, and it can occur during or after a stroke, causing distorted visual movements. Fortunately, there's a solution by using optical prism technology during rehabilitation. If you or a loved one have experienced a stroke, ask your doctor about spatial neglect. Spatial neglect. See the whole picture at KesslerFoundation.org.
If I could be you,
and you could be me,
for just 1 hour,
if you could find a way
to get inside each other's mind,
walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out, and for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
First of all, on the appointment of the special counsel today, former President Trump reacted to this news in an interview, calling this the, quote, worst politicization of justice. He said that this was an unfair and political decision. I'm wondering if you have a response to that.
Look, I will say this, and I've said this many times before, we do not politicize the Department of Justice. That is something that the president said during the campaign. That is something that the president said in his early days of being in the White House, and that continues to be true.
Cringe Jean-Pierre. Oh, you are a national treasure. The White House isn't politicizing the DOJ. Good Lord. Tony Katz, that's me. Tony Katz today. 833 got Tony. Love to hear from you. 833-468-8669. I mean, it's just laughable at this stage of the game that there could be anybody who is stating that the DOJ isn't politicized. Well, of course it is. The DOJ run by Merrick Garland? Yes. Yes. Oh, dear God, yes. Tony Katz, did I say hello? I forget sometimes. I gave the number. I know that. 833-468-8669. Now, all of this, these things, the conversations like this about what the DOJ is doing, may very well be part of the questions that I ask to former Vice President Mike Pence tomorrow. I am scheduled to interview him on my morning show. And if all works, plans change. That's why you always say scheduled. That's why it's always that. tech issues happen, things happen, so you deal with that. But I have a fair number of questions about this idea about faith in institutions, because Pence's argument is that there was nothing he could do about the election. He couldn't send electors back, and it was about upholding the institutions. Well, what have we seen within institutions, the FBI, DOJ, et cetera? And what's his take? We will get into some January 6th. He's got a new book out, So Help Me God is the name of the book. And then we'll talk about the future of the Republican Party. And that's at least the plan. We're booked for the whole hour. We're booked for the whole hour tomorrow, starting at 8 a.m. Eastern time. So you can catch that at WIBC.com, WIBC.com. 93.1 FM is where you'll be able to hear that. My one-on-one with former Vice President Mike Pence. He's got the book, So Help Me God, and we're gonna talk about all of it. We're gonna talk about all of it. I did mention last week that I was going to do a little more looking into this Respect for Marriage Act, because I said on a top line, without knowing anything about the legislation, if you told me that you were going to engage legislation that said that two men or two women could have the same tax benefits as a man and a woman who are married, I would say to you, okay, it's tax benefits. I don't see why we give them to some people and not other people. I've never understood that. But I also said, and it's funny, when I've had this conversation before, and of all the things that I expect to get pushback, I always expect to get pushback on this, and I never hear a word. And I'm like, I must be saying it very, very well. When it comes to the concept of marriage, I believe words have meaning. And I believe that the definition of marriage as one man and one woman is a legit definition and should be the definition. And I've always made this argument that I think that those people who wanted to be able to have these kinds of unions could have gone a lot farther if they weren't calling it marriage. Because what very much looked like was the concept of a co-opting. Telling people who have been getting married for a millennia or two or three, no, we're going to absolutely change the term, and too bad for you. So it wasn't about a conversation of equality. It was a conversation of destruction. I always found that to be an obscene thing. And I would argue it with anybody. I can argue it well and in totality. It seemed abusive to do that and unnecessary. It's different. Two men or two women, it's different. And that's okay. I'm not talking about separate but equal. I am discussing that as a concept, it's a different thing. But note, I said that if we're talking about the tax benefits, that should be allowed to any two people who want to spend their life together. I'm very, very clear. I have through lines, guys, that are very defensible. Marriage as something that is religious, man and a woman. But here we are. And here is this Respect for Marriage Act, something to replace the Defense of Marriage Act. And at top line, you're like, okay, what's the issue with this? There seem to be a fair amount of issues. A fair amount of issues about how this act actually prevents the idea of religious freedom. And I thought there was a fair write-up over there at the Daily Signal. It was written by Roger Severino, Vice President of Domestic Policy and the Joseph C. and Elizabeth A. Angelic Fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Now, I don't know Severino. I don't know him. But he engages a couple of claims that the legislation has on this Respect for Marriage Act, which 12 Republicans, including Senator Mitt Romney, including Senator Todd Young of Indiana and others, voted to, get past the filibuster to engage cloture. Because the bill's findings characterize beliefs in man-woman marriage as worthy of respect, the legislation would provide religious institutions legally significant protections against being treated by government as the equivalent of bigots. right? So that's the claim. As they point out, the issue is not the ability to believe in man-woman marriage, but the ability to live out those beliefs meaningfully in society and not be labeled a bigot by the government for doing so. Remember, this federal government labels people bigots for all sorts of things, like, for example, believing that you have a right to engage with what's going on with your children in their schools. They label you domestic terrorist for this. What if I own a bakery and I do not want to decorate a same-sex wedding cake? Are you allowed to sue me? If I'm not allowed to say no, I am not really free. It seems that this legislation would prevent the ability to say no. And if you say to me, well, you shouldn't be allowed to say no, my God, what kind of authoritarian lowlife are you? Of course you should be allowed to say no. And then you are like, okay, I'm never going to use your bakery again. I'm going to go over to this bakery because they're going to decorate the cake. Some people would rather force others to decorate a cake. You think that's rational? If you think it rational to say to somebody, you have to decorate my cake, not I'd like for you to, oh, I'm sorry, it's just not a cake I feel comfortable with. What if they said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just busy. I got 9 cakes that day. I can't do it. I'm so sorry. You're making the argument that they can't say no. If you can't say no, you're not really free. The people who believe that a bakery shouldn't be allowed to say no are believers in slavery. That's who they are. Challenge me. 833-468-8669. Seriously. Challenge me. Let's see how far down the road you can go. Let's see how much thought you've put into the thing, because me, I put some thought into the thing. If the baker can't say no, how is the baker free in the United States of America? How are you not an authoritarian? If you're telling the baker they have to do it without any choice. Can they charge more for it? Are they allowed to charge for it at all? Considering they're already a slave in your eye, should they be able to charge for it at all? The legislation says diverse beliefs about the role of gender in marriage are held by reasonable and sincere people based on decent and honorable religious or philosophical premises. Therefore, Congress affirms that such people and their diverse beliefs are due proper respect. Well, how do you make a determination about which beliefs are the ones that are held by decent and honorable religious or philosophical premises? How and diverse people? Which beliefs are okay? Which beliefs are okay and which aren't? Another claim is that the bill, the Defense, the Respect for Marriage Act, can't be used as a basis for the Internal Revenue Service to deny the tax-exempt status of religious organizations that adhere to and act upon the beliefs in a man-woman marriage. As he responds to it, although the bill clarifies through a rule of construction that it does not, by its own operation, revoke tax-exempt status for dissenting religious organizations, it gives ample grounds for the IRS and any other tax authority to do the actual dirty work. Translation, what it says and what is applicable are two different things. So a church saying that a marriage is a man and a woman, which is their right to say, could be grounds for losing your tax-exempt status, which is to say, we don't believe Christianity should be allowed to engage in a conversation about Christianity. So is it an attack on religion and religious freedom? Absolutely. Is it an attack on free speech? Without question. And as you start to break this down, you start to realize, well, holy crap, this is the point. This is the point. You've got people like Senator Langford, James Langford of Oklahoma, engaging this conversation.
All of these gaps that I talk about for individuals, for small businesses, for individuals of conscience, for the right to be able to protect yourself if you're facing religious discrimination on this, for the limiting portions of in this act, or from explaining not arising from a marriage, what that may mean, the issue of principal purpose and not having to prove your principal purpose in a court of law is a religious issue. Everyone seems to nod their head and say, oh yeah, those are problems. Multiple members have brought amendments and said, let's fix it. And yet they're being told over and over again, no amendments.
Mike Lee has an amendment to try and fix some of the issues with this legislation. The Democrats won't have it and won't hear of it. Because the reality is, punishing the religious is the point. If you said to me, I want legislation that allows people in a union, two men, two women, a man and a woman, to be able to get the tax benefits that we afford to married couples, I'd say yes. I'd sign my name. I'm down. This is not that. And the more you read about H.R. 8404, the Respect for Marriage Act, the more you see that this is about telling people they cannot say no. This is about telling people they must accept. And not only must accept, they must cheer, they must celebrate, they must laud and glorify something that they don't believe in. So count me out. And why senators would allow a vote on something this bigoted. Senator Mitt Romney, Senator Todd Young. It's beyond my understanding. This is not a conversation about whether or not people can live their lives. This is a conversation telling some people that what you believe is simply wrong and will not be tolerated. Yeah, I'm going to object to that. I'm going to object to that. I'm going to fight for the rights of these people to live out their beliefs. To think that in the United States it's even up for debate is stunning and gross. I'm Tony Katz.
Another news update is minutes away.
Victor Butler is charged with murder, and police say he shot and killed a carjacker.
Get the facts.
The fox was guarding the hen house.
This committee will evaluate the status of Joe Biden's relationship with his family's foreign partners.
Not just the talking points.
We're going to continue to support our Ukrainian partners.
What events
I will not seek re-election.
We'll happen to be there.
It will close 6 schools and move some students to new schools as well as teachers.
On the level. On the go. 93 WIBC Mobile News. The latest local news. Commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel. Podcasts. Listen to the station live whenever, wherever. Online at WIBC.com.
Hello, this is Don Steffi, Executive Director for the Indianapolis Ballet. 'Tis the season, is it not? Or is it nut? The Nutcracker, a family tradition brought to life by your Indianapolis Ballet. December 16th through the 18th at the Murat Theater, Old National Center. Don't miss this delightful classic for the whole family to enjoy. Brilliant and festive dancing, colorful sets and costumes, Tchaikovsky's beautiful music, and a whole lot more. Indianapolis Ballet's The Nutcracker. Tickets on sale now at indieballet.org.
What's the best product I bought this year? Oh, that's easy. Salonpas pain-relieving patches. The proven medicines in Salonpas patches reduce my pain and let me do the things I need to do every day.
In a recent clinical study, patients using Salonpas reported improved sleep, mood, and the ability to work. They had less pain and were able to reduce their use of oral pain medications.
For pain, I use Salonpas. It's good medicine.
This is Joe Cordell.
In other ads, I've talked about the weighty matters that are on the table in divorce: assets, debts, spousal support, and of course, children. But here I want to talk to you about a troublesome issue that arises early and often in the divorce process, but which attorneys, including myself, say too little about, and that's the cost of a divorce. Yet as important as this factor is, it shouldn't overwhelm the more deserving issues that are raised by divorce. But here are just a few things that Cordell & Cordell is doing to help. We have now reduced our initial deposit or retainer. Also, there's no longer a charge for initial consultations for those who retain. And finally, we now provide on the front end a maximum fee pledge for certain modification and support matters. The bottom line is that to be a partner men can count on, we have to think about all their needs, and attorney fees are no exception.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
When you're living with low vision, life can be a challenge. If you're 55 or older and your world has gotten smaller because of vision loss, it's time to be bold. Go to timetobebold.org for a list of services in your state that will give you the tools, technology, training, and support you need to live your bold, best life. Help is here. Join others who found a bright, bold future. Go to timetobebold.org today.
Maintaining a healthy weight can be difficult at any age, but as adults, it's important we set our youth up for success by practicing a healthy lifestyle. This message is brought to you by the Indiana Youth Institute. 1 in 3 Hoosier children ages 10 to 17 are considered overweight due to their body mass index. Factors such as poor diet, low physical activity, stress, and more can contribute to a child's weight and overall health. So, what can we do? Well, first, get active. Kids should participate in at least 60 minutes of moderately intense activity most days a week, preferably daily. Second, balance calories and encourage healthy eating habits. Provide plenty of veggies, eat lean meats, and try low-fat options. By changing a few habits, we can all benefit from better health. This Kids Count Minute is a message from the Indiana Youth Institute. For more parent tips, visit IYI.org.
Kids count on you.
Paralyzed Veterans of America believes the veterans who've served and sacrificed deserve access to the best our country has to offer. Access to homes, communities, meaningful employment, and the veterans' benefits they've earned. With PVA staff working inside VA hospitals, no other veterans organization has provided more real-time ongoing support for paralyzed veterans and their families. Our nation's heroes fought for your independence. Join PVA in fighting for theirs at pva.org.
Hey, son, how are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, the loss of who you thought you is.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Hey, we're pretty social people at WIBC. You can find us all over social media. See what we're up to on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We're never more than just away. Just search for 93 WIBC.
You know, I started by talking about the NBA, and then I'm forced to ask myself, with everything they've done and all the super wokeness, like if you got tickets to a game, would you go? Living in Indiana, as I do, I sometimes get tickets to Pacers games, Indiana Pacers. So much fun. So much fun. Seeing a game on TV is nothing like seeing a game up close. And when I get tickets, I get good tickets. I mean, really good. Like I could come in off the bench. Good. It's incredible. The athleticism, the speed, the strength, amazing stuff. Like, I sometimes wonder, are the problems, are the issues something that you put behind you? Or does it matter so much that you gotta do something about it? You gotta say something about it. You can't just be like, railing on it and then go. I don't, sometimes I don't know. I do believe that you gotta separate certain things. But as I'll get into, Kyrie Irving is back with the Brooklyn Nets. And showing up all around the Barclays Center were these guys claiming to be black Hebrew Israelites screaming, "We're the real Jews." Now, it's not Kyrie Irving's fault. Nor do I think Kyrie Irving should have been forced to some level of apology. And, he's got to pay a fine. You got to donate to the Anti-Defamation League. I'm not down with the ADL. I always thought the thing was nuts. But, how do you feel about going? People say, the NFL got too woke. You see all the people at the Colts game yesterday? People still go. That's my question. I'm Tony Katz.
School buses are densely packed spaces with poor ventilation, making the school bus the weakest link in a school's efforts to reduce disease transmission. Go to schoolbusair.com to learn more.
Looking for the perfect gift this holiday? Crew Car Wash books are on everyone's list. And right now, buy 4 Ultimate Washes and get 2 free. Available online or at any Crew Car Wash location. Plus, get a free bonus wash now through November 30th.
My name is Corporal Bradley Joseph Seitz.
Jerry Reed.
Kate Weber.
These are real veterans facing a real challenge.
I have PTSD.
And I have PTSD.
I have PTSD.
Post-traumatic stress disorder can happen to anyone.
I was still in a war zone in my mind.
But treatment can turn your life around.
Treatment has really saved my life.
To learn about PTSD and how treatment can help you, call your local VA medical center or visit ptsd.va.gov.
My muscles ached. I was tired all the time.
My son had a full-blown asthma attack. It came out of nowhere.
The unsettling thing about some symptoms is
I had a fever and these terrible headaches.
You don't always know what's causing them.
It was Lyme disease from a tick bite.
I had West Nile virus from a mosquito.
He had a reaction to cockroach allergens.
Threats to your health can come from unexpected places. Get the facts. Visit pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
There are screening tests to catch cancer early. Visit cancer.org/getscreened.
Life is a collection of moments that last forever, so make them matter and make them count with a symbol of everlasting love. A diamond from Pierce Jewelers. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Guys, solve your ED today with an intimacy guarantee only at the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. If you don't perform, you don't pay. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic at 999-9000. 999-9000.
Remember to sleep in Friday morning because the sleep in sale starts Friday at 10 a.m. at Sullivan Hardware and Garden and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan.
Broadcasting from the Shepherd Community Center studio, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
Police asking for patience in Idaho. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The search for evidence continues more than a week after 4 university students were stabbed to death in the home where 3 of them lived. There have been no arrests.
Police in Moscow, Idaho say they've cleared 2 surviving roommates in the murders of 4 students, though the 911 call was made with one of their phones later on. Police also cleared a man seen on surveillance footage at a food truck near some of the girls who were later killed, and the person who got some of the students home was cleared as well. The president of the University of Idaho, Scott Green, says the community needs to be prepared for a lengthy investigation.
We have increased security patrols on campus since we were notified of this off-campus incident. We have also benefited from increased Idaho State Police presence on our campus.
Aside from a suspect, police say they're still looking for the knife that was used in the murders, and the police chief says they do believe this was a targeted attack.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Court records show the man accused of killing 5 people, injuring more than 20 others at a gay bar in Colorado over the weekend is facing murder and hate crime charges. Police have said 22-year-old Anderson Lee Aldrich is in custody and being treated for injuries. At least 2 patrons in the bar have been credited with stopping the gunman and holding him until police arrived. A split decision from large unions on a deal aimed at avoiding a possible freight rail strike. Engineers voting to accept the agreement, but conductors turning it down amid continued concerns about quality of life issues, including paid time for things like doctor's appointments. A Thanksgiving tradition continues at the White House.
I hereby yes.
I hereby pardon chocolate and chip.
President Biden also offering a more serious message about being grateful, including for fellow Americans, before heading later today to a Friendsgiving with military families in North Carolina. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
You'll pay a price for this warm-up. Radar's clear. It's sunny and 46 degrees. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 102. High temps were below normal for November this past weekend. That won't be the case this week.
As we move into the holiday weekend for Black Friday and travel back if anyone's traveling, still temperatures above normal and dry weather expected.
Forecaster Jason Puma says you can expect highs around 50 this week, but that comes with a small chance for rain Thanksgiving Day. An off-duty cop accused of drunk driving and trying to leave the scene of a crash.
Police say it happened at West Southport Road and State Road 37 just before 1:30 Sunday morning when the off-duty officer with the Steinsville Police Department crashed his patrol car into another car and eventually hit a construction barrier. He tried to run away but was later caught and put in handcuffs. Now he's facing multiple preliminary charges. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Your time is 103. Traffic and weather in 2 minutes.
Do you plan on living on a more liberating budget than Social Security is going to provide when you retire? Do you know how to make Social Security work best for you with your other investments?
Singer Financial is a strategic wealth management and financial planning partner that helps aspiring retirees plan, dream, and get that life that they want in retirement. Singer Financial specializes in strategizing and equipping you to bring you the visions for retirement to life. Singer Financial can help you make the next chapter of your life whatever you want it to be. Go to singerfinancialgroup.com or call 317-852-9153. That's 852-9153 and learn how the Singer Financial Group helps people just like you pursue your vision of the good life in retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Some people like their morning coffee for the rush, but savoring that creamy, sweet McCafe is your signature move for making that morning rush slow way down.
'Tis the season. Download the app for a free McCafe, like a peppermint mocha, with a minimum $2 purchase. Offer valid through December 4th at participating McDonald's. Valid once per day. McD app download and registration required.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
It's Rob Kendall for my incredible friends at Life Church. By now, most of you know friend of the show, Pastor Micah Beckwith. And most of you are aware, in addition to being a trusted conservative fighter, he's also part of the Life Church community that would love to welcome you and your family. They've got 4 campuses, including Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, plus online services. Learn more about Micah, Nathan, and the rest of Life Church by visiting their website at lifechurchin.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Fashion Store.
Traffic at 105, slow traffic, I-465 northbound between Washington Street and I-70. If you see anything else on the road, you can let us know on Twitter at WIBC Traffic. Your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center. Taking a look at the radar, it's clear here in central Indiana. It's sunny and 46 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. You'll reach a high near 50 today. It's clear and cold tonight with a low of 29. As we get closer to Thanksgiving, we'll get closer to 60 degrees. There's a good chance for rain on Black Friday. I'm Donnie Burgess. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 106, time for Tony Katz Today on 93 WIBC.
Live from the heartland and the crossroads of America, it's Tony Katz Today.
Now more than ever, we're short of workers. We have a population that is not reproducing it on its own with the same level that it used to. The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
So Americans aren't having babies, and that's why we have to allow people who broke the law to become citizens? Holy crap, Chuck Schumer. That is one bloody heck of an admission. As Carol Markowitz writes in the New York Post, Chuck Schumer finally admits it. Democrats don't want any real immigration law. Tony Katz today. What's going on, everybody? 833-GOT-TONY. That is the number. Feel free. Call in. I don't mind. 833-468-8669. 833-GOT-TONY. That's a statement. We're not making enough babies, therefore illegal immigration. That's a stretch. It's a unique take without any rational thought behind it. Because as a nation of immigrants and a nation that should be absolutely pro-legal immigration, we would simply say that there is no need, none, for illegal immigration. But let's break down just for a moment how Chuck Schumer tries to sell this.
Now more than ever, we're short of workers. We have a population that is not reproducing it on its own.
So what we need are lawn care professionals and breeders. That's what the man just said. So don't get angry with me. Settle yourselves down. Let's go through it again. Chuck Schumer in his own words.
Now more than ever, we're short of workers. We have a population that is not reproducing it on its own with the same level that it used to.
First, why do we have a shortage of workers? And what workers are we talking about? You mean the workers who mow your lawn. That's what you mean. If we were having a shortage of lawyers, would you be in favor of opening up the border to lawyers? What we need are more lawyers in the country so we can bring down the average cost per hour of what those blood-sucking vermin charge. Oh, I'm sorry, we're not allowed to say that? Is that not allowed? I don't know. I don't know the rules on what we're allowed to say about lawyers. Hold on. The lawyers tell me I'm not allowed to say that. And then followed up with, seriously, Tony, don't say that. So there's that. If the people coming across the border were lawyers, would it be people like Chuck Schumer so easily welcoming them in? But no, they want to cut your lawn or they're going to do some other manual labor. Oh, that's fine. That's good. That's helpful. We will allow the law to be broken because those things are important. You can't have legal immigration and still have people engaging in jobs that are physical labor jobs, which I don't argue are important and are in need. But that's his argument for why we should allow the law to be broken. Because nobody is out there to paint his house at a good enough price. Holy cow. And then the idea that we're not populating fast enough. The beauty of being a nation of immigrants is that we don't have the issues that other nations have. To be an American is this super unique thing where all you have to do is say, yeah, I'm down for that. The only thing you have to do to be an American is say, that idea is super groovy. Count me in. Can't be Chinese and do that. Can't be Egyptian and do that. You can name a series of other countries. It doesn't work like that. Being an American is a unique thing. You buy into and believe in the idea and the ideal. Part of our problem is we have people who come from other countries who don't believe in the idea and the ideal. They're told, come to America, this bigoted, awful, racist place, and demand that you get taken care of. And that's what happens. I would start, if I was president of the United States, with these kinds of declarations. If you're coming to the country and you don't like the country, we immediately throw you out. But most importantly, we have a zero tolerance policy. We have to have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to the border and no illegal immigration whatsoever. We have to reduce things to zero or as close to zero as possible, and every day we have to work on getting better. But it is radical to say that the reason we have to allow 11 million illegal immigrants become citizens is because we need people to mow our lawns, because our college-educated America ain't making no babies. That's what he's saying. That's exactly what he's saying. The people who vote for us don't make babies, so we got to bring in more people to vote for us. We got to make our own babies. Ooh. In a nation like ours, you create Americans by saying welcome. But the only caveat is legally. Why don't you, Chuck Schumer, you low-rent coward, instead of screaming about the need for illegal immigration, why don't you work on legislation that fixes legal immigration, and let's go about saying welcome to a lot more people? This isn't tough. This isn't even close to hard work, guys. You just got to be willing to do it. So now you're forced to ask. Tony's right. They could do this, but they don't. Why not? It is in the question of the why not that things start to fall apart for the political left, and you go back to Markowitz's column in the New York Post. Democrats don't want any real immigration law. If you have a standard, if you have a belief that only certain people should be allowed into the country, you may not get the type of voter that you're hoping for. And the question before us is exactly that. When we talk about allowing people into the country, what kind of people are we talking about? What kind of nation are we talking about? What kind of people are we talking about, I should say, coming into the nation? Are we talking about people who are there to clean out Chuck Schumer's gutters? Who didn't bring this up during the election. He only brought it up after he won re-election. Right? Only afterwards did he bring this up. So you know this is just a talking point bit of nonsense. Does he want to bring in people to clean his gutters, or does he want to bring in professionals? Does he want to bring in people who go through a lawful system that might actually take a while, or bring people in who are here illegally and immediately give benefits to, so he has people indebted to his political party? It doesn't take much to figure this one out. It doesn't take much to see what it is that's happening here. It doesn't take much at all. The game that Schumer is playing, and how indeed he's playing it. The absolute hate that he has. Certainly for the rule of law. This is a member of the U.S. Senate, the Senate Majority Leader. It's really hateful stuff. It's really remarkably bigoted stuff. So, this is Schumer saying illegal immigration, totally fine. We make 11 million illegal immigrants citizens because we're not making babies. So if I were you, I would say, I don't want to have 11 million illegal immigrants made citizens. I think my plan is to go home tonight and have a lot of sex.
Yes! 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 Yes!
And when asked, well, why do you want to do this? It's because Chuck Schumer told me so. And if anybody can inspire sexual activity, it's Chuck Schumer. All right, you don't have to think about him at all. Go have fun, kids. I'm Tony Katz.
Hopes are high for IU Hoops with one more run for Trace Jackson Davis and Race Thompson and Xavier Johnson and promising newcomers like CJ Gunn and Jalen Hood-Schifino. And IU basketball lives here. Little Rock comes to Bloomington to take on the Hoosiers. Wednesday, pregame at 5:30, tip-off at 6:30. On your home for IU basketball, 93 WIBC.
I'm not going to ask my staff to come in at 3 a.m., and I'm certainly not going to tell my customers they need to shop in the middle of the night to get the best deal. Are you kidding? Pat Sullivan here from Sullivan Hardware and Garden and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan. Thanksgiving is a day for families to get together and have fun. So enjoy your family and sleep in on Friday because the sleep-in sale doesn't start until 10 a.m. See our specials like 50% off an artificial wreath. Look at our pre-lit artificial Christmas trees. You can actually see 170 different styles. The biggest selection in Indiana and on sale at 30% off. Visit our gift shops for additional savings on Christmas gifts, ornaments, collectibles, accent, candles, and more. Like 30% off Christmas light sets. Remember to sleep in on Friday because the sale doesn't start until 10 a.m. I'm serious. Sullivan Hardware and Garden, 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn in Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan in Fishers.
Looking to get a jump start on your holiday shopping? Well, if you're a AAA member like I am, I've got you covered. Check this out. You got to get the gift of peace of mind this holiday season. A AAA membership would be perfect for those loved ones that are always out on the road, traveling to and from school. It's the gift that keeps giving well past the holidays. I'm talking flat tires, dead batteries. You lock your keys in your car. It's 24/7 roadside assistance from AAA for an entire year. I'm a AAA member. You should be too.
Check another thing off of your list by giving someone you care about a AAA membership. Get yours today at your local AAA office by calling 844-GO-AAA-GO or visiting AAA.com. And don't forget to ask about complimentary travel planning and great insurance rates, auto, home, life, and more, because you don't have to be stuck on the side of the road to get assistance from AAA.
Did you know that you need to winterize your roof? Let Moss Roofing be your first call. MossRoofing.com. Call Moss Roofing before winter hits. Damaged siding can create one big winter project that you do not want to deal with, especially in that frigid cold. Moss Roofing can inspect, repair, or replace damaged siding. They can also recommend downspout extensions or top-notch gutter guards if they see any red flags during the inspection. Let's talk insulation. Investing in and reinforcing your home's insulation with Moss Roofing can reduce your energy bills and keep you warmer this winter. Whether you need to install new insulation or replace your existing insulation, you can always turn to Moss Roofing. Moss Roofing will find the solution that works best for you and your budget. The expert inspectors from Moss Roofing can identify your unique needs. Whether you need winter-ready insulation, gutters, repairs, or a replacement, the Moss Roofing team will come up with a custom winterizing plan for you. Visit mossroofing.com to get your winter prep started today.
What's the best product I bought this year? Oh, that's easy. Salonpas pain-relieving patches. The proven medicines in Salonpas patches reduce my pain and let me do the things I need to do every day.
In a recent clinical study, patients using Salonpas reported improved sleep, mood, and the ability to work. They had less pain and were able to reduce their use of oral pain medications.
For pain, I use Salonpas. It's good medicine.
The Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council present the story of Tom and Levi.
Tom is the smartest man I know. He's been a professor at 2 major universities, been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, he told me that he was having problems in his classes. I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. And he was telling them that he was doing it as a favor to them, but I think in reality he just wanted to get out of there. I was really starting to worry because I saw something was wrong.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me, and my love for him was just immense.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
So the Dow's up 23, the NASDAQ is down 104, but everything is this Disney story. It's crazy. They move out Bob Chapek. They put back in Robert Iger. Literally no one saw it coming. Tony Katz today, and you got to ask yourself, how much did woke play into this? How much did the woke push of Disney play into this decision? You've seen the stock price come down, although COVID could certainly have played a part in that. As the story goes, people have been complaining that Bob Chapek, the CEO, was not fit for the job. Chapek took over about a year ago from Robert Iger, controlling Disney. And of course, we've had all of the conversations about the wokeness of Disney, the fights with Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida. You realized that they weren't listening to stockholders. They weren't listening to the consumers. They were listening to the children of those on the executive team who all demanded more wokeness. Executives and executive producers who were saying they were adding characters just to move forward certain agendas. That's not why you make a movie. That doesn't make any sense. It's bad business. So they had started getting emails, internal emails, this from CNBC, from senior leadership stating that Chapek simply couldn't do the job. And this is a guy who'd been with Disney for a while. So the team got together, didn't have really any other replacement. They're like, we just got to do this. So they reach out to the former CEO, Robert Iger. Now, Iger had said publicly, count me out. I'm leaving. I'm done. Thank you, Cleveland. Good night. And so they reach out to him Friday and said, look, about this Chapek thing. Nice guy. Oh, nice guy. What a nice guy. When you say he's got to go. And Iger said, what do you mean he's got to go? And Disney was like, well, we could do it that way. And Iger's like, come on, that's not necessary. Like, all right, we're kidding. Okay, seriously, nobody thought about whacking Bob Chapek. And they're like, no, he's just got to go. He may not have been the right choice for what it is that we're doing. And so I'm curious, because I haven't seen yet what they're paying Robert Iger. He's like, all right, I'll come back. Which, this is the story of Supreme Court justices. Why don't they retire? Because what are they supposed to do after they retire? What are they supposed to do? I think the story was about Sandra Day O'Connor, that Sandra Day O'Connor left the Supreme Court because her husband was ill. I think it was dementia or something like that, something really, really bad, and said, I'm going to take care of my husband. And she left the court, and he died not so long after that. And so you're left almost with this question of, okay, she left the court. She can't go back. She left the job. What is she supposed to... Right? What is your identity at that moment? It's a really kind of interesting thing. And when you're talking about running quite literally one of the top companies in the world, the strength of Disney, come on. It's a hard thing to walk away from. So according to the sources, because this got announced last night, this came in like 10 p.m., Bob Chapek had absolutely no idea it was coming. None. Zero. Now, he had to know something was coming because the stock price has dropped. If you take a look at it a year ago, the stock price was 157. If you take a look at it right now, the stock price is 97. And that's only because in the pre-market trading, because of this change, the stock was up like $10. It closed at what, 90 yesterday? 91.80. It closed on Friday. It closed at 91.80 on Friday. It opened at over 100. Right now it's at 97. And I think some people are going to be buyers now if it means they're going to go down the road of actually engaging profit and worrying about the stockholder and not worrying about the woke holder. So then you've got a question about some other people who were there with Chapek. One of them is a guy by the name of Kareem Daniel. I know nothing about Kareem Daniel. He leads Disney Media and Entertainment, which is a division that got created by Chapek. I think it's fascinating because I think we're going to hear sooner rather than later whether or not the decisions on some of the wokeness and the fight with DeSantis led to this decision. Now, some people are arguing, as we're reading the reporting, that they've had an issue with Chapek's leadership style for years. And I do remember hearing that maybe he wasn't the right choice from the beginning. Well, clearly that's the case. And I think that moves like this are very, very important because they say a lot about this conversation that we've been having. In 5 years, less than 5 years, all this DEI, SEL, woke nonsense will be out of corporate America, or the vast majority of corporate America. It doesn't work. It does not work. Nobody is better off. No company grows from it. Employees don't feel emboldened by it. It is weak nonsense. It's virtue signaling garbage. Movies are good because they are good, because the characters are solid. The story arc matters. If you're going to be introducing characters because this one is gay and this one is trans and this one is bi and this one is non-binary and this one is... that's nonsense. Just like when California said, well, if you want to have a company here, your board of directors has to have one of this and one of this and one of this and one of this and one of... I'll put on my corporate board anybody I dang well choose. Anybody I want goes on my corporate board, not who you want. I got to have a black person, a gay person, a Jewish person, a white person. No. I want what I want. They all come from the same household, so be it. They all come from the same race, the same religion, the same this, the same that, so be it. My company. I get to choose, not you. And so I want to know how this kind of permeates through the Fortune 500. I want to see how this spreads out. That's what I'm really interested to see. And I'm hoping that it leads to the further downfall of the woke nonsense. This is Tony Katz Today.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Getting back to a somewhat normal forecast. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 1:30. You probably dealt with rain and maybe even some snow this past weekend.
But it appears you won't be seeing much of that this week. I'm Sean Herrick. Dry and warmer weather is expected across Indiana.
But for the Thanksgiving Day holiday, we'll be looking for some small chances of rain. We have about a 20% chance of rain, but still high temperatures in the lower 50s, so not too bad.
Jason Puma with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says any precipitation that falls will likely be the heaviest in northern Indiana, and there could be some in other parts of the state, but even if there is any rain or snow, don't expect much of it. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indy Metro Police Sergeant Peter Feckus is on administrative leave. IMPD says Feckus told his supervisors Thursday about an apparent drunk driving incident in Ohio last Wednesday. No other details have been shared. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
PXG is now open in Indy, baby. Introducing PXG's newest retail store, PXG Indianapolis. Get fitted for hot new PXG golf clubs and our brand new state-of-the-art fitting bays. And shop PXG's off-the-hook apparel, hats, bags, all sorts of stuff. So come by our beautiful new PXG Indianapolis store, 6091 East 82nd Street. We'll be waiting for you. PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
It's almost here. Our absolute biggest sale of the year. Bell Tire's Black Friday sale. Starting online Wednesday evening. Beginning in-store with extended hours Friday, Saturday, and Monday only. If you need new tires, this is the time to get them. Every tire, all brands. You miss this, you will miss out. Buy online Wednesday or in-store Friday, Saturday, and Monday only. Sale ends November 28th. You're going to get the lowest tire price, period, at Bell Tire. See store or belltire.com for details. Restrictions apply.
Hi, I'm Mandy Moore. We can do great things when we stand together. With support from American Airlines, Stand Up to Cancer is closer than ever before to achieving its mission to make every cancer patient into a long-term survivor. Through this incredible collaboration, we are pushing cancer research to new heights. Doctors and scientists, team members, patients and their families all working and standing up to move progress forward. The fight against cancer never stops. Thankfully, new and promising treatments can help save lives now.
Flight 2 is prepared for takeoff.
So get on board and join this mission. To learn more about how you can support this groundbreaking effort and get Advantage Miles, go to standuptocancer.org/American Airlines.
Before I was adopted, I felt alone.
I felt nervous that I wouldn't have a family.
I was getting older and older. I didn't think I was going to get adopted.
With help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, Lexi, Connor, and LaShawna now have a forever family and the foundation for a bright future.
When I was adopted, it was like, wow, I get to settle, and this is permanent.
After I was adopted, I felt happy.
Adoption changed me for the better. I feel like I can be whoever I want to be.
Every child deserves a safe, loving, and permanent home. Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find forever families for children who have been lingering in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Hey, Dr. Elsperman. I believe one of the best ways to invest in a community is to encourage participation in high school sports.
I agree, Paul. High school sports can play a tremendous role in student athletes obtaining their first degree in life, a high school diploma. Ivy Tech Community College also plays a role by serving more than 70,000 Indiana high school students who are earning college credit while finishing high school.
High school athletics are all about setting students up for success in the classroom and in life, and that's especially important, considering less than 7% of student athletes play sports in college and even fewer receive scholarships.
At Ivy Tech, thousands of high school students complete their freshman year of college or first industry credential, giving them a head start on college and careers.
We appreciate the support of partners like Ivy Tech who invest in our student athletes, their education, and our communities.
This is championing education. This is investing in your community. This is your IHSAA.
This did not happen to me until this year. I'm on LinkedIn. Many people are on LinkedIn. I set it up years ago. I still have it. I don't think it's ever helped me get a job. Maybe it's helped me find some people. I don't know if it's helped me get a job. I get emailed to me top job picks for you. So this is what LinkedIn, according to, I don't know, whatever algorithm, they've decided is a perfect job for me. Tony Katz today. Find everything, tonykatz.locals.com. 833-GOT-TONY, 833-468-8669. I'm not looking for another gig at the moment, but here's the list that they emailed me. All right, should I read? Here it is, everybody. I could be the director of media sales for something called Monumental Sports and Entertainment. I don't know what Monumental Sports and Entertainment is. What's up, guys? They own and operate 5 professional sports teams. The Washington Mystics, which is the WNBA, the Washington Capitals, or NHL, the Washington Wizards, the G League Capital City Go-Go, and the NBA 2K League Wizards District Gaming. I would think director of media sales would be a pretty, I guess, good gig. But I don't want to be the guy selling the talent. I want to be the talent. Now, if Monumental Sports and Entertainment wants to bring me on to do content for them, well, then I get it. Then I absolutely get that. That's clear and that's good. But I'm not taking the sales job. Create content, yes. Sales, no. Then I could be here it is. DraftKings, which, a full disclosure, does advertising on my main station, WIBC, and I have been doing DraftKings ads for over a year now. Maybe it's 2 years now. I think it's 2 years now. Maybe it's longer than that for all I know. VIP reactivation host. I don't know what this is, but I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated just by the name. Does anybody know what this is? A VIP. Here it is. Oh, I have a description. As a VIP reactivation host, you will oversee and cultivate relationships with you guys know what DraftKings is? It's the online gambling, online bet. People are now starting to be, we have to take a look at this online gambling because this is really not good. For whom? If you tell me somebody who has a gambling problem is gambling, would you feel better if they were gambling in a casino? But neither here nor there. What's the real issue? Why shouldn't it be legal? What are people looking for a problem, or are they just they need something to rally against? I don't know if this is it. I think online gambling has proved extremely popular. This is a country that likes to take a bet, likes to place a bet. It just is. So a VIP reactivation host, you will oversee and cultivate relationships with DraftKings' most highly engaged players, responsible for the day-to-day execution of DraftKings' industry-leading VIP engagement strategy. Oh, so you get people who were playing a lot to come. All right. Basically, that's cart fulfillment. Right? You are online shopping and you put 7 things on the cart and then you're like, yeah, I'm not so sure. And then you got the site comes back and says, hey, look at all this great stuff that you could have if you just enter your credit card information. That's what it is. Interesting gig. Interesting gig. Get to know people, get to engage with people. I could see it. Like, I have always believed that, like, the job I was built for, concierge. Concierge, like just helping people get what they want and find their way to the thing and set up cool kind of like environments and opportunities for you. That sounds like fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. That's kind of what this is. Interesting. And then there were some other ones I don't even know what they are. Like I don't even know why I would. So that's just some of the jobs. Some of the jobs that are being offered out there. And right now, get every job you can, people. Nothing 2023 looks good. Not a single thing, except for Twitter. Twitter is looking absolutely, positively amazing.
Yes.
Trump was allowed back on Twitter. Marjorie Taylor Greene was allowed back on Twitter. Kanye West was allowed back on Twitter. Who else just got allowed back? Project Veritas allowed back on Twitter. And the left is very unhappy about this.
No, God!
No, it's true.
No, God, please, no! No! OMG. Are you kidding me right now?
I hate Illinois Nazis.
It doesn't matter. They call everybody Nazis. It's what they do. These people are allowed back. Now, Trump has said, I'm not coming back. He's got Truth Social. That's where he's going to try and force people to get his content. But considering how many people have been sharing the Truth Social content onto Twitter, I think that's the best. It's like, all right, don't be on Twitter. If you don't want to be on Twitter, sir.
Hello.
Hey, sir, don't be on Twitter. It's totally fine. My life is not different because you're there or you're not there. But watching people lose their heads has been stunning, and specifically at Elon Musk. Senate Democrats want the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, to investigate Elon Musk after his purchase of the site. How dare we let this guy just own Twitter? We need to investigate him, check in on him, who he's working with, pressure those people to stop working with him. This level of Banana Republic corruption from the left, unreal stuff. Gross, ugly stuff. But it's the standard. If you want an example of it, this is Robert Reich. Robert Reich is the former Secretary of Labor under Bill Clinton. Right? That's who Robert Reich is. And Robert Reich goes to the Twitter box and states, I can't make this up, just because you're rich doesn't give you a right to own and break whatever you want.
F these people.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Oh my. Just because you're rich doesn't give you a right to own and break whatever you want. That's correct. You could also be poor. If I own I don't know, a guitar. If I own a guitar that was once played by Buddy Guy, and I want to break it on stage or run it over with my car or set it on fire, of course I can do that. But I think the bigger conversation is the idea that Robert Reich thinks that Elon Musk is breaking Twitter. Allowing people to engage in conversation is far from breaking something. It was already broken. Elon Musk is just the crazy glue. He's the duct tape of social media companies. Not a hero, because he has said something. Hold on a second. I've got somebody on Twitter saying that Reich was talking about Nancy Pelosi. I don't think that's the case there. Nice try though on the joke. Haha, tee. There are people infuriated, of course, as we know, that free speech is actually allowed on the platform. They don't want speech allowed on the platform, and they are most upset that they no longer own the platform, control the platform. They are infuriated by this. But we should note that the platform was broken and is being fixed if it's allowing more people to engage. But there's been some talk about Alex Jones. I'm not an Alex Jones fan. I think Alex Jones is a scumbag. I've always thought he's a scumbag. I'm not going to stop now. And Alex Jones is not on Twitter. And so the question is, why not? And Elon Musk said, because I've lost a child. And there's Alex Jones causing hardship and grief for the parents of Sandy Hook, where their children were murdered. And, of course, he loses this major lawsuit, millions and millions. It'll get into $1 billion by the time it's said and done. And so when asked about it, Elon Musk states, "My firstborn child died in my arms. I felt his last heartbeat. I have no mercy for anyone who would use the deaths of children for gain, politics, or fame." His first child died of sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS, 10 weeks old back in 2002. First of all, that's a horror. Cannot imagine, won't imagine. I'm going to leave that one be. Second, by the way, the total amount of damages, when you do add it, it is $1.4 billion. I knew it was into the billions. I knew it. So we're clear. Elon Musk is wrong here. Elon Musk wants to discuss that free speech matters, but he has decided there is a bridge too far. Alex Jones is the bridge too far. If you are going to say that people should be allowed to speak, it can't be predicated on whether or not they've done something that insults your sensibilities. It is a reminder that Elon Musk is not a savior, and he should not be treated as a savior. Ever. He's a guy who bought a platform, and who's on it and who's not on it doesn't change how you live your daily life. But certainly it has exposed where some people are in this free speech conversation and how little they think you should be allowed to speak freely, or more to the point, how they want to ensure what it is you hear and don't. I mean, that's really where it's at. They want to decide what you hear and what you're not allowed to hear. I must say, though, that I am, while I would feel absolutely horrific for him losing a child, goodness gracious, it's not a reason to not allow somebody on the platform. Because someone could decide, well, if that's a problem, what about Trump saying this? And what about this one saying that? I go back to, why is the Ayatollah allowed on the platform? Why is that allowed? Why is this murderous, Jew-hating fool allowed on the platform? Why is this murderous American-hating fool allowed on the platform? See there? Maybe that's easier for some people to take. For what purpose? For what reason? Why? Madness. So he's wrong here. I don't question whether or not he takes what Alex Jones said personally. I'm not questioning that at all. I am saying that's not enough. It's not enough. You know, let people speak, you got to let them. But the reactions have just been stunning and stellar, and they're everywhere. They are everywhere. So upset that Trump is on the platform. So absolutely angry. This was the Anti-Defamation League. Saying that this was wrong of Elon Musk to do, right? Because they put Musk put out a poll. He put out a poll, and it was like, should Trump be back on? And they said yes. And Jonathan Greenblatt of the ADL, for Elon Musk to allow Donald Trump back on Twitter, ostensibly after a brief poll, shows he is not remotely serious about safeguarding the platform from hate, harassment, and misinformation. Neither are you, Jonathan Greenblatt. That's not what the ADL does. That's not what Twitter's supposed to do. Let people speak, and you go about figuring out what is and what isn't. And what you consider hate and harassment might not be what somebody else considers hate and harassment. You don't get to decide. And let me say clearly, Jonathan Greenblatt, ADL, Anti-Defamation League, you sure as hell don't speak for me. You don't speak for me. Somebody you disagree with is involved in hate speech, There's no such thing as hate speech, but that's ridiculous. You disagree with them. That's it. Good Lord. He's not serious. Go start your own platform. Learn to code. Or you already know how to code. What are people saying now? Learn to weld? Yeah. Like those people are ever going to weld. I'm Tony Katz.
Another news update is minutes away.
Victor Butler is charged with murder, and police say he shot and killed a carjacker.
Get the facts.
The fox was guarding the hen house.
This committee will evaluate the status of Joe Biden's relationship with his family's foreign partners.
Not just the talking points.
We're going to continue to support our Ukrainian partners.
What events
I will not seek re-election.
We'll happen to be there.
It will close 6 schools and move some students to new schools as well as teachers.
On the level. On the go. 93 WIBC Mobile News. I'd rather be folding laundry.
This is gonna be fun.
Said no one ever. Also, no one enjoys wasting time in traffic. That's why we love saving you time. Matt Baird Traffic.
Backups are already starting.
On 93 WIBC.
Today's forecast is a chiller.
Living room turning into an icebox? We'll be right there. And 1 hour heating and air conditioning? We're
always on time.
Call 855-1HOUR or visit onehourheatandair.com. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Christmas can sometimes be difficult to manage. It brings back memories. Some are great and some are painful. I lost my dad 11 years ago, and every Christmas I think of him. And if I got to talk to him today, this is what I think he would say. Hi, sweetie. I loved calling you that when I was with you. I've seen you pull up that voice message I left you all those years ago when I called you that. I love knowing that it blessed you too, and I miss being able to sit and talk with you. I wish I could tell you how proud I am of you.
We don't often talk about grief during the Christmas season, and yet Christmas can bring up memories that evoke pain and heartache because of the loss of a loved one. Hi, this is Pastor Micah Beckwith, and our Blue Christmas experience at Life Church is designed to give you a space to remember, to ponder, and to feel. Come to one of our Blue Christmas experiences and find a new freedom and joy during the holidays. Go to lcbluechristmas.com for times and locations.
Lexi spent more than 6 years in foster care.
Before I was adopted, I felt alone.
With help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, Lexi now has a forever family and the foundation for a bright future.
Adoption changed me for the better. I feel like I can be whoever I want to be.
You can help find permanent homes for children still lingering in foster care. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Moments like seeing my son's team cheer him on mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR-positive, HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, how would you live your life if you could wake up each morning knowing there was enough money coming in to not only cover your basic needs, but also your goals and dreams as well?
The mission at the Singer Financial Group is that they want to work with people who expect their relationship to be transformational rather than transactional. If that's what you're looking for, you should connect with the Singer Financial Group. 317-852-9153. That's 317-852-9153. Or go to singerfinancialgroup.com. Schedule a discovery meeting and see how the retirement income money map planning process could transform your life. 317-852-9153.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
LaShawna spent more than 5 years in foster care.
I was getting older. I didn't think I'd be adopted.
But with help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, LaShawna now has a forever family and the foundation for a bright future.
When I was adopted, it was like, wow, this is permanent.
You can help find permanent homes for children still lingering in foster care. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
The latest local news, commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey,
5.6%
Hammer and Nigel,
Biden.
podcasts. Listen to the station live, whenever, wherever, online at WIBC.com.
So I said I was going to bring up Kyrie Irving. I didn't realize how close to the top of the hour I was. But he's back with the Brooklyn Nets. And he's apologizing. Again, forced apologies don't mean anything. Don't worry about it. I mean, you can talk about what he said or what he's sharing, but forced apologies don't work. What was fascinating is these Black Hebrew Israelites are all around Barclays Center. And they're supporting him. They're chanting, "We are the real Jews." I swear to you, they're tiki torches away from being the people in Charlottesville. Like, it's nuts. But he's apologized. He's back with the Nets. It's like, okay, so that's happened. I'm Tony Katz.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for plenty of advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and foundation. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
School buses are densely packed spaces with poor ventilation, making the school bus the weakest link in a school's efforts to reduce disease transmission. Go to schoolbusair.com to learn more.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. Mortgage interest rates have finally started to drop, and now is the perfect time to look at your options. It all starts today at thehomeloanexpert.com.
Rebates are back. Leasing is back. Order banks are open. Non-commissioned sales staff ready to impress. It's Thanksgiving and it's time to give thanks. Stanley Chevrolet in McCordsville. Every new Chevy below MSRP. GM employee and supplier discounts honored. New inventory is back. Used inventory is back. Every new Chevy below MSRP. We're close, we're easy, and we'll save you a whole lot of money. Stanley Chevrolet in McCordsville is giving thanks for this Thanksgiving. Now through November 30. Excludes Corvette and Z06.
It's important to buckle up your kids.
I know.
Sometimes car seats can be complicated.
I know.
And if your child's in the wrong seat and you get into a crash,
I know.
It could lead to a serious injury.
I know.
So you're 100% sure you have the right car seat for your child's age and size?
I don't know.
Don't think you know. Know you know. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Make sure you have the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Pierce Jewelers has a spectacular array of diamond earrings, diamond pendants, diamond rings, and diamond bracelets. They shop the world to bring you the very best. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Freegee and Freegee Auctioneers is hosting a public auction on December 3rd in Clayton, Indiana. Info at freegeeauctioneers.com. That's FREIJE auctioneers.com. License AC312-00002.
Remember to sleep in Friday morning because the sleep in sale starts Friday at 10 a.m. at Sullivan Hardware and Garden and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan.
Broadcasting from the Shepherd Community Center studio, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
A car crashes into an Apple store. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. It happened outside Boston this morning in the town of Hingham.
It appears at the outset preliminarily the dark-colored SUV went through at a rate of speed undetermined through a plate glass window and struck multiple people.
Plymouth County DA Timothy Cruz calls it an ongoing criminal investigation, but he's not speculating on whether the crash was accidental or intentional. One person killed, 16 taken to the hospital. The driver has been with police, not hospitalized. New charges against the man accused of killing 5, injuring more than 20 in a mass shooting Saturday night at an LGBTQ bar in Colorado.
Anderson Lee Aldrich, according to court documents, now faces
faces hate crime charges in addition to counts of murder. Colorado Springs police say Aldrich began firing with a long gun moments after walking into Club Q. Patrons of the bar are credited with stopping Aldrich from killing more people. Some of the injured were shot and, at last word, remained in critical condition.
Fox's Gernal Scott. The attack happened as the bar was preparing to mark the Transgender Day of Remembrance. 2 men under arrest in New York City accused of threats to the Jewish community.
One had made anti-Semitic social media posts, including threatening to attack a synagogue. Mayor Eric Adams said that threat was real.
This was not an idle threat.
He says police recovered weapons, including an illegal gun with an extended 30-round magazine, a hunting knife, and that's not all.
And a Nazi armband. A Nazi armband in New York City in 2022. Think about that for a moment.
He says extra security at synagogues will continue through Hanukkah.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
2 cops, both accused of drunk driving. You've got 46 degrees right now. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 2:02. IMPD Sergeant Peter Feckus is on administrative leave. The department says he's been summoned to an Ohio court on allegations of drunk driving last Wednesday. Sergeant Feckus told his supervisor about those allegations before being placed on leave. An off-duty Steinsville cop accused of drunk driving and trying to leave the scene of a crash.
Police say it happened at West Southport Road and State Road 37 just before 1:30 Sunday morning when the off-duty officer with the Steinsville Police Department crashed his patrol car into another car and eventually hit a construction barrier. He tried to run away but was later caught and put in handcuffs. Now he's facing multiple preliminary charges. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Even though it'll get cold again when December rolls around, you will get warmer weather this week.
And on Tuesday, we'll see another dry and sunny day and highs in the lower 50s. And by Wednesday, we get into the mid-50s, again with more dry weather.
Forecaster Jason Puma with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says there's no chance for rain until Thanksgiving Day. But even then, it's not expected to be anything substantial. Your time is 2:03. Traffic and weather coming up in 2 minutes.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell. Over the past 30 years, I've had people come up to me, often other lawyers, to tell me what a clever marketing idea it was for Cordell & Cordell to commit to men in divorce. Though intended as a compliment, such statements have always bothered me. For one thing, it's far from clear that a decision that's likely to disaffect half the market is a good business decision. But more troubling is the presumption that Cordell & Cordell's success is largely a result of good marketing. I think if you ask one of our 300-plus attorneys or one of our 100,000-plus former clients, that you'd hear a lot about practice skills, experience, client care, and integrity. These are the much harder things that best account for the growth and reputation over time of any law firm, including Cordell & Cordell. Having said all this, I am proud of our marketing messages, and I do want guys to know that we're here to help them. If we can help you, give us a call.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1100, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204.
Your love isn't confined to an Advent calendar. It doesn't stop when the Christmas lights come down. With the Salvation Army, your love lasts all year long. It puts a present under someone's tree today and a roof over someone's head tomorrow. It brightens Christmas morning and the hardest nights for hardworking families. Together, we love beyond Christmas. Give $25 a month to support local families all year long at salvationarmyindiana.org.
There's the good parts we all think about. The crackling of wood on a cold winter night, the warmth and glow in the room. And then there's the other part. The stale campfire smell, the potentially dangerous creosote buildup. It's easy to forget about the importance of fireplace maintenance. The certified professionals at Chimney Solutions Indiana can keep your fireplace clean and safe using trusted products and repair techniques. Call 317-757-6979 or go to chimneyindy.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
Traffic at 205 on 93 WIBC. Accident blocking the left lane at I-465 northbound between 86th Street and US 52. Also got a report of a gas leak at East Massachusetts Avenue at East Street. If you see anything else on the road, you can let us know on Twitter at WIBC Traffic. Taking a look at the radar, it's clear in central Indiana, sunny and 46 degrees. I'm Donnie Burgess on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Live from the heartland and the crossroads of America, it's Tony Katz Today.
I could not agree more that TikTok cannot be allowed to operate in the United States. But I'm not so nasty. I don't think I'm nasty at all. I know some people say it, but they just disagree. And so anybody you disagree with, they're like, "Oh, he's a Nazi," right? That disagreement means they're a Nazi, and that's what they do. And so I don't pay any attention to those fools. I accept that TikTok is a danger, that TikTok is controlled by the Chinese Communist Party, and that TikTok cannot be allowed in the United States. It's tracking people. It's sharing data and information. This is a spy tool from a communist nation. Tony Katz Today. Guys, so good to be with you. Find everything, TonyKatz.locals.com, TonyKatz.locals.com, and don't forget tomorrow on the morning show, I one-on-one with former Vice President Mike Pence. All the questions that the Chuck Todds and the Jake Tappers didn't ask, oh, don't you worry. Don't you worry, I got it. He's scheduled to be with us at 8 a.m., so tune in then. Oh, tune into everything. There, WIBC, WIBC.com. People are going to lose money when TikTok gets banned. And I don't think we should be so flip about that. Note that I did not say that we shouldn't do it. We should do it. We need to get rid of TikTok. When I see CBS, the whole thing with Trump, they're allowing him back on Twitter, although Trump has said, I won't go back on Twitter, and everybody's lost their mind. Everybody has lost their mind. So ignorant. Senate Democrats want the Federal Trade Commission to investigate Elon Musk. We don't care how much money you have. You're not doing what we want. So we will go against you. We will utilize the tools of government to hurt you. These Senate Democrats are blanking awful. You can fill in the blank yourself. CBS said we're going to put a pause on being on Twitter. We're going to put a pause on being on Twitter and assess the situation. They did that for 36 hours. And while they were doing that, they were still putting out information on TikTok. A communist Chinese-owned company spying on Americans and Europeans. The Europeans think that TikTok should be blocked. Mike Pompeo, the former Secretary of State, speaking about it, TikTok cannot be allowed to operate in the United States. Jobs be damned and people's careers be damned. Now, I know exactly what you're saying. When do they start saying that about talk radio? Dude, I'm surprised that they haven't. Talk radio is a threat against democracy. Talk radio, owned by American companies, is a fundamentally different conversation. If I told you I didn't like the content on TikTok, but TikTok was owned by a guy named Tim in Des Moines, Iowa, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But it's not. It's owned by the Chinese Communist Party, and it's utilized to spy on Americans, and that's the difference. I'm not discussing stopping anybody from being in the business of sharing content, even if I think the content is ridiculous and or detrimental. They'll have to find another platform. And I am not going to not notice that they're going to lose money. These people are making serious dollars. They're going to lose out, and I feel awful for them. But it still has to happen. You see, you think that talk radio is a problem. No, you just don't like the content. I'm not arguing the content because I can decide not to watch it like someone else could decide not to listen to it. It's the platform is owned by the communist Chinese, and you can't allow it because they've proven themselves untrustworthy. They've proven themselves liars and frauds. They have proven themselves dangers. They have to go. So they got to go. That's all there is to it. And sooner rather than later. I agree. Just don't forget that some people are going to be financially hurt. And I'm sorry that has to happen. I am. They should move to other platforms and hopefully find new successes and better successes there. But TikTok has to go because we have a nation to secure. And that nation comes first. Keep it here. This is Tony Katz Today.
Hopes are high for IU Hoops with one more run for Trace Jackson-Davis and Race Thompson and Xavier Johnson and promising newcomers like CJ Gunn and Jalen Hood-Schifino. And IU basketball lives here. Little Rock comes to Bloomington to take on the Hoosiers. Wednesday, pregame at 5:30, tip-off at 6:30. On your home for IU basketball, 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel here for Window Nation. Get ready to have a blast of winter. Yeah, that next brutal blast of wicked, wild, and windy weather is on its way, and the only thing going down is the temperature. Heating costs will soar as much as 28% from last year, but you can cut your energy bills by up to 30%, increase your home's value, and get amazing savings. Call Window Nation today. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free with no interest payments until 2025.
Your new windows will lock out the cold, blocking even the smallest draft, and keep your energy bills lower despite their ever-rising costs. With 0% interest until 2025, you'll have plenty of extra cash for your holiday spending. Make your home truly warm, comfortable, and inviting. Call Window Nation today, 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com. Get 2 windows free with every 2 that you buy, 0% interest until 2025. 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com. Discover why over 250,000 homeowners say Window Nation is the perfect fit.
If you want to win at any game or competition, whether it's in sports, your career, your finances, you have to have a solid game plan. Retirement works the exact same way. If you want a winning retirement strategy, you need a great coach, a manager, an expert.
And that's where Brian Singer and the Singer Financial Group come in. The Singer Financial Group puts together the pieces of a comprehensive retirement plan to make sure that your retirement years are the best years of your life. Every day you wake up winning. Singer Financial can help you make the next chapter of your life whatever you want it to be. Go to singerfinancialgroup.com or call 317-852-9153 to schedule a discovery visit. 317-852-9153. Find out how the Singer Financial Group can help you pursue the sweet life in retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
What's the best product I bought this year? Oh, that's easy. Salonpas pain-relieving patches. The proven medicines in Salonpas patches reduce my pain and let me do the things I need to do every day.
In a recent clinical study, patients using Salonpas reported improved sleep, mood, and the ability to work. They had less pain and were able to reduce their use of oral pain medications.
For pain, I use Salonpas. It's good medicine.
Possibilities are all around us. Everywhere we look, we see opportunity in unexpected places. And when we share our knowledge, vision, and connections, we turn great ideas into action in communities all around the world that we call home. Like transforming an old bus to feed hungry children, or providing life-saving equipment to those who need it most. From fighting disease to rebuilding schools, together we can make real change happen. We're Rotary. We are people of action. Get involved today at Rotary.org/action.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle, none are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
I'm Siniqua Martin Green, and when my mother was diagnosed with cancer, our world changed forever. This experience made me so passionate about spreading awareness of treatment options, including clinical trials. I'm joining Stand Up to Cancer to get information to those who have been diagnosed with cancer and their loved ones. Clinical trials introduce new hope for patients, providing access to cutting-edge new treatments. Talk to your doctor to see if a clinical trial may be the best choice for you or a loved one. To learn more, visit standuptocancer.org/clinical trials today.
I know the World Cup is happening, and I'm supposed to really be into it. I mean, I'm a soccer guy. I love it. But FIFA, the governing body of world soccer, put it in Qatar. You're talking about a horrific nation. Lots of money. But you can't drink a beer, and you Jews, no kosher food, and you're not allowed to publicly pray. True story. You really think that that FIFA cares? They don't care abusive or oppressive. What they care about is what kind of deal that they got, which probably involves a kickback. And how can I pay attention to World Cup when I have to watch the Indianapolis Colts flail as they do? 17-16, losing to the Eagles, who they were beating because, well, in a way, someone can argue they stopped playing football. Field goal missed, first and goal, you're not scoring a touchdown. Defense gives up 14 points in the fourth quarter. That's everything going wrong. Tony Katz, guys, good to be with you. JMV joins us from 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. I don't know if you want to start on the offense or defensive side of this ball, but I can only imagine there are some nice defensive things to take away. There is absolutely nothing worth taking from that other side of the ball.
No, the offense, Tony, has really no playmakers to speak of. I mean, really none. Jonathan Taylor maybe, but really none. And you can't, with that margin for error that the Colts have, which is very slight, and especially against better teams, you can't get thrown into all those short fields like that and come away with either three or a miss. We were in the press box yesterday, and when McLaughlin, missed that kick, I think a 50-yarder or whatever it was, which is, makeable range by the standards of the NFL, really a range you have to make. When he missed that, we all kind of looked at one another and said, all right, here we go. And that's exactly what happened. Here we go. You just didn't take advantage of the situations you were set up in. Philly was right for their second loss of the season. But this Colts team, as we've seen a number of times this year, think about it. They go into the fourth quarter leading by 10 and then come away with a loss. And, you mentioned where are we going to start with our criticism, offensively or defensively. It's almost like you can't count on one when the other is playing well, if that makes any sense to you whatsoever. Given if say, for example, the offense has a nice series, then you're not going to be able to count on the defense. If the defense is looking good and playing tough, you're probably not going to count on the offense. And that happens every single game. It's discombobulated. And yesterday, once again, offensively, Tony, it started with the offensive line. It was wobbly at best.
So all we heard, and all people want to talk about, and this is not an attack on Jeff Saturday. This is just a reality. Oh my gosh, Jeff Saturday. Oh, I guess they're all just gonna, be eating crow for everything they said about Jeff Saturday because he won last week. This team collapsed in the fourth quarter. Where's going to be the talk about Jeff Saturday? I can't believe that Jim Irsay did this. What was he thinking? This team isn't actually inspired. This offensive line isn't actually better because Saturday's in there. Where's all that talk?
No, it's the same team. No, there's no doubt about that. Well, I mean, Jim Irsay was the one that gloated big time last week via Twitter. And, as much heat as he took last week for that hire, then so be it. I probably would have done the same thing. But at the same time, this is an identical team. It is. Motivational words, maybe that helped last week. Maybe that helped this team. But maybe it was also the fact that the Raiders suck. And I mean suck in a big way. That played more of a significant role than I think the words of Jeff Saturday or the implementation of Jeff Saturday as the interim head coach. Tony, this is still the same team because yesterday you saw a garden variety of the issues with this team as to why they have been one of the larger disappointments this year. They just have. I mean, again, offensively, they look the same. Defensively, they have their moments. But when you really needed them on that final drive with Jalen Hurts, the defense let them down. So they are identical to what we thought when Frank Reich was here. So there's no difference.
talking to JMV from 103.5, 97.5. The Fan. Is this defensive issue that we saw, is this all because Shaquille Leonard is out for the rest of the season?
Nah, I think yesterday was probably, I'll give a little bit of credit where credit is due, because I will look at it this way. I thought that the Eagles kind of took that thing. It wasn't like the Colts just on a silver platter, Tony, said, hey, here's the game, we stink. I thought that the Eagles took it. I thought that Jalen Hurts just kind of showed why Jalen Hurts is mentioned as the possible MVP in the NFL this year. He just took it upon himself. Offensively, they took it upon themselves, to get that thing into the end zone, and they weren't going to be denied. And I wish the Colts had some way to counter that. I wish the Colts had some kind of angle where they could also do it, but they just simply they don't. They lack the playmaking ability. They lack the scoring ability. Tony, you and I think talked about it last week, whether or not this team was going to get to 20, and if that was going to be 20 points, a kind of a linchpin to where this team gets a win. That's where you're looking at. Let's just say, for example, you make a touchdown instead of a field goal, make another field goal. We're probably talking about different things against arguably the best team in the NFL this year. But they just continuously let you down when you need them. And again, I look at that offensive line with all the penalties. Think about how you go down the field and you get sidetracked because of an illegal man downfield or a hold. Offensive line penalties were probably, to me, the biggest issue of what we saw with this team yesterday.
And there were a few of them. The new guy, left tackle, Ryman.
Yes.
You had Ryman, you had Fries playing because you had Pryor going to the hospital, and I don't even know what happened there. You've got this big, expensive offensive line that still does not have a level of cohesiveness, but some of this is just about learning, right? Ryman's, isn't he a rookie? I mean, sometimes these things are going to happen.
Yeah, there's no question about that. I mean, he is a rookie, and that's what you can expect, and that's what happens when your general manager fails at his business at hand. This was supposed to be the building blocks and the foundation of this team, and it has not been anywhere near. That is a general manager failure. That's a Chris Ballard failure, and that, to me, that's going to have repercussions as you move forward here, too. It just will. And, hopefully Ryman, for example, Tony, is going to be your left tackle in the future. That would be great. But they thought they had so much figured out on this team this year, and this group is probably what has let them down more than anything else in what has been an incredibly disappointing season.
As we talk about things offensively, I personally am taking a look at Alec Pierce. He got targeted 8 times. He caught the ball 3 times. You can argue that maybe a pass or 2 was a little too far away. It was a little underthrown, whatever the case may be. Alec Pierce is not getting open. Alec Pierce is not getting the ball, and he's not catching the ball. What's going on?
Well, part of it is, he's a rookie, still getting used to it. That's not an excuse. That's just a fact. The other serious fact to me is that Matt Ryan can get it down the field. You cut off how much of the field offensively because Matt Ryan doesn't have the arm strength and at times still doesn't have the protection to get it down the field. He can't. Thus, Pierce, Pittman Jr. can't get separation. They can get separation on those crossing patterns, and those crossing patterns work. But trying to get it down the field, just not going to happen because they can't get separation. And the simple fact is Matt Ryan, as good as he has been, at least last week with this team, he can't get the ball down the field any longer, and that is a huge detriment.
You expect to see any changes? Parks Frazier still going to be making the play calls? Was this all on him?
No, I think I think everything's probably going to stay the way that it is, and you're going to get a Steeler team coming up on Monday night. Tony, here's what really bugs me, and I'm curious your thoughts too. This team has had an opportunity to be in the thick of things, in the hunt, even with the way that they've played this season, and they've just let themselves down. Yesterday, I thought it was more the Eagles kind of taking it away. Well, you can look back this season, and there are so many different circumstances to where the Colts have deflated their own balloon, have really screwed themselves, and that's where they find themselves right now. They don't have the answers to the questions that are most important on this team, and that's where we're going to get at the end of the season. Because this was supposed to be that transition season into winning a division title, into winning a game in the postseason, hosting a playoff game in the postseason, and they've been unable to do that, and that falls at the feet of Chris Ballard. So I think there are going to be more questions to be answered certainly after the season where this thing goes. But this is one of the most disappointing teams in the NFL by a long shot this year. And then if you think back at all the opportunities they've had where they've let one another down, that's probably the biggest disappointment of this team, is just how people thought they were going to be, what they were going to lean on to be, and what they certainly haven't been, Tony.
My thanks to JMV. Appreciate him being with us, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Look, I want to go back to this idea that you're not allowed to say anything about Jeff Saturday's hiring. Of course you can. You just got to deal with the ramifications therein. He won a game against the Raiders. Oh, you see, all the haters got to shut up. You gave up 10 points, a 10-point lead, and you allowed 14 points to be scored in the fourth quarter. That's on you. That's on you. So what am I supposed to say? What is the take now? The take is this isn't a good football team. The take is Matt Ryan's going to retire after this year. He can't get the ball down the field. Alec Pierce is not catching. Other guys don't even have an opportunity to take this stuff deep. Do we have a running game? Of course we have a running game. Did the offensive line not do a good job this past week against the Eagles? Yeah, it wasn't great. And you need great if you're not going to have all the other pieces working. It's because this team is just an okay team. And sometimes okay can get you far, and sometimes okay can find a way. This team hasn't. I think JMV's point about you take a look at the tight games, the opportunities lost, squandered, etc. That's real. You got to just notice that. You got to be honest about that. This team has not done the little things that allow it to have the bigger upside. And this isn't about a specific coach, at least after 2 games. This is about this team. So what I take from this loss is that I don't see where the future of Chris Ballard is at all. I could have fooled myself, although I would think that he's gone at the end of the season. I could have fooled myself into thinking that maybe, all these guys needed was just a different take, and these are actually the players that you want. Doesn't seem that's the case right now. It doesn't. Now, maybe that's just being too harsh on a loss, but just telling you how it looks. How it looks is that this team doesn't have the desire to win. And you say to me, man, they were ahead, they were up. How could you say that? Because they didn't win. That's how I say that. I say it politically. Mitt Romney didn't have the will to win. Oh, too soon? Too soon? No, didn't think so. Mitt Romney did not have the will to win. He wouldn't take the fight to Barack Obama. And that's how Barack Obama became president in 2012 and not Mitt. Then again, if if Chris Christie had actually run, he could have been president. But no, he wouldn't run. Everybody's got a reason. Everyone's got a story. The truth is some guys don't actually want the ball. You know what I've learned about myself at this stage? I don't know. I don't think I'm in any late stage of my life. What I've realized about myself is I actually want the ball. And I'll take whatever comes from it. And I'm not questioning whether these guys on the Colts are professionals. I'm just saying that no one has decided to put this team on their shoulders yet. That's very obvious. They're not actually connected in that way. I think everyone can see it. I think everyone can see it. This is, I don't even know this is about specific players. This is about as a team. They don't seem to be there. There was no rallying cry. There was no push. There was no demands for better. That's what it looks like. Outsider looking in, man. Outsider looking in. That's what it looks like. This, I don't know if the season's lost, but certainly this is not a playoff-bound team. That seems pretty obvious. Pretty obvious indeed. I have got more to get to. Find everything, TonyKatz.locals.com. This is Tony Katz Today.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He's off duty for now. I'm Donnie Burgess. Here's what's trending at 2:30. Sergeant Peter Feckus of IMPD is on administrative leave for an apparent drunk driving incident in Ohio last Wednesday. Feckus brought the issue to the department the day after and will have to deal with an Ohio court. Shelling in Ukraine moves close to a nuclear plant. Fox's Greg Palcott.
The Zaporizhia nuclear plant in the southern part of the country was rocked by 12 explosions over the weekend. The UN's IAEA said that came close to a significant nuclear incident. Ukraine and Russia each blamed the other. Meanwhile, Moscow's war on Ukraine's power supply nationwide intensifies as missiles target the civilian infrastructure. One utility chief today saying the country could face a total power blackout this winter. In Kyiv, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Now through Monday, save up to 50% on all Lazy Boy and Smith Brothers of Bern, plus an extra 10% off your first item and an extra 15% on all additional items. Buy more, save more sale. Now through Monday, only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus with free delivery. Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus will save you money.
During the season of giving, it can be dangerously easy to give away more than you want.
Sweater for Mom, video game for Jake, and my credit card for someone named Gina?
More online activity can mean more exposed personal info, but LifeLock by Norton has identity theft protection all wrapped up. And if you become a victim, we'll work to fix it on your behalf. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS. Go to LifeLock.com.
Diamonds Direct is celebrating the holiday season by extending our special 20% savings offer through this weekend. So, you have a few more days to take advantage of the best prices of the season, an extra 20% off store-wide. Start your holiday shopping now and save big. Everything is included. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, colored gemstones, and yes, thousands of engagement rings are now an extra 20% off. Our selection for the holidays has never been better, and that includes our breathtaking collection of loose diamonds, hand-picked exquisite diamonds in all shapes and sizes. Don't miss this special extension of our biggest and final store-wide sale of the year through this weekend only. Save an extra 20% on a multi-million-dollar inventory of fine jewelry. Ask about special financing too. Diamonds Direct. Get all the details at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
After I came home from Iraq, I could still hear the booms. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
Thanks to DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
I'm a veteran. We hit a mine in Vietnam.
As America's veterans face challenges,